All right, welcome to the news at noon on DC News Now. I'm Shanika Grimshaw.
And I'm Marielle Carbone in from our call today.
And I'm meteorologist Damon Matson.
All right, well, it's Wednesday, and you know what? We are almost over the hump. I mean, it is noon, so we still have some day to finish.
But we're halfway through.
That's the halfway point exactly, right?
Yeah. So, yes, it was very nice and not as cold as yesterday. That's all I can say. And what I can say is my car started.
That's good news. We love that update. Did you find out what was wrong with it yesterday?
I did. I took it in for a test, some testing or whatever you say with cars. And they did say my battery is old.
There you go.
It's about
we knew it. That's
so
what we said.
everyone was on point. See, I have no idea what's going on with the car. I just wanted to go. I just want to get in and I wanted to just go, right? But they said, your battery is over 10 years old.
Yeah.
You need a new one, so I'm going to get a new one. I'll do it today.
I'm surprised it lasted that long.
I
Seriously?
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm happy. So.
Well, we're happy that you were able to make it here and be with us today.
Thank
After
you.
this
Thank
news
you. No, I wasn't late or anything.
And see, I was going to bring up too the fact that we were trying to give your car a break today, Shanika, but it sounds like you're getting it set now. You shouldn't have any problems, right? If it ever gets colder. So
I did not have any
So
problems.
she wants it to be 10 degrees again. That's what
It
she
sounds
wants
like
to
it.
do.
Oh, no. You know, I think the car's like me. We like warmer temperatures. That's why she refused to work.
out of protest, we don't want this anymore.
Right.
But hey, great news about the car, first
Thank
off.
you.
But yeah, I'm happy to report, and I know that we were bringing it up a little earlier too, the fact that, I mean, it's not warm, but we are certainly not as cold as we have been. Now, this is all in response to a storm system that is swinging its way in. So while the temperatures have been on the rise, and that's one part of the forecast we've improved, we are unfortunately going to deal with a lot of cloud cover, and some of us will be dealing with precipitation. Now, here's that messy storm system, Clipper system, that is passing by to our north. The center of that storm is rotating over Detroit, Cleveland, over toward Buffalo. And you notice here, northern side of the storm, lots of blue, lots of snowfall across the Great Lakes into upstate New York and even the northern tier of Pennsylvania. But once you drop on the southern half of this storm, it's rainfall for the most part from Pittsburgh down towards Cincinnati, Lexington, and that's the section of the storm that is swinging toward us here in the DMV with temperatures on their way toward the 40s. Now, as it stands right now, we haven't had any precipitation for the most part. Out across the mountains of western Maryland, we're getting some of that precip to roll in, and right along the Catoctin Mountains in Frederick and Washington counties, a little bit of pink and green mixed together. That's likely just some rain and a few wet snowflakes. But the rest of us, well, we're not seeing much, and really, the majority of the area won't be seeing much precipitation. Some light rain showers will be possible through the afternoon, but as we head quickly into the evening time and overnight hours, it's just going to stay cloudy, yes, but precipitation not likely east of I-81. But once you head out toward the mountains, it's a totally different world out there compared to around the DC metro, and this storm will be a totally different story. We still have blizzard warnings, winter weather advisories for the western-facing slopes of Garrett County. They will be dealing with quite the impact from this storm, bringing very heavy snow, very strong winds. So that's where some winter impacts will be felt through tomorrow morning. Now, for the rest of us, it's just rain today, but could there be another burst of cold air and perhaps some snow on the way later this week? We'll have a full look at that forecast for you in just a bit. So we're catching that little bit of a break. Shanika got her car fixed, but we may have to be ready to bundle up again here pretty soon.
Oh, yes.
And Shanika's car is ready for it.
I know. I wish I had like a coat for her so she can wear.
I'm sure there may be something out there. You never
One of
know.
those covers, that protect it from like, the snow. You can
Right.
pull that off.
Maybe. Who knows? All right.
Damon, thank you. Moving on to some news now. We want to talk about something happening today. A Maryland mother who is accused of killing her two children years ago. She will be back in court today to see if she's competent to stand trial. Now, back in August, Catherine Hoggle was recharged with the murder of her two missing children, Sarah and Jacob. Police originally arrested her years ago for the killings, and at the time, she was found not competent to stand trial. And because a trial didn't take place within 5 years, those charges, they were dropped. Sarah and Jacob's father, he spoke after court yesterday. Take a listen.
I'm more hopeful today than I have been throughout this process. The former director of Clifton T. Perkins Hospital Center says the woman accused of murdering my babies is competent to stand trial. So we're very hopeful the court will listen to her expert opinion.
Now, the judge is continuing the hearing today. It's been pushed back a bit to 2 p.m. DC News Now's Kevon Dupree will be there, and he'll be bringing the latest on air and online at dcnewsnow.com throughout the evening. And this has just really been a heartbreaking story for that family and the community. Shanika, this goes back to 2014. That is originally when those two children went missing. Jacob, just 2 years old, Sarah, 3 years old. And of course, we know that they've never been found. So a lot to this, and we've been covering it since then.
Yeah. And for the community, I mean, I remember everyone covering this, and we have also, again, covered this extensively. And just knowing the little details about this whole story, it's really sad for everyone involved. These children were never found, and just knowing that Hoggle has a history of mental health issues, and so knowing that she suffered with paranoia and schizophrenia, it's just really sad all the way around. And it also brings up a really important topic here, mental health, and taking that very serious, and just knowing that there's help available.
Yeah, and we know that the court system, they're hoping that Hoggle will share more details about what happened. That's something they've been talking about in court over the last 2 days. So we're waiting to hear that. Of course, you mentioned the mental health issues. She was ruled incompetent back originally and was sent to a psychiatric facility, but was later, just this past summer, sent to a halfway house. And that's what really started this case up again, knowing that she was released from that psychiatric facility. So we'll be looking for some more information from Kevon later this afternoon.
Yeah, and again, you know, people were saying, how did that all happen? But she did serve her time. And so, yeah, a lot of different pieces that we're just still trying to put together.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along now. Let's talk about the end of what is considered one of the most generous student loan repayment plans, and the Department of Education killing the Biden-era income-based repayment plan. Advocates say nearly 8 million people depended on the SAVE plan to keep their payments affordable and at a lower cost. Now, it's based on their monthly payments on how much they've made, and the loan could be forgiven in some cases within 10 years. But if a judge approves this agreement, millions of borrowers will have a limited time to pick a new plan, which includes a standard option to pay back the money within 25 years, or a plan that would forgive the loan after 30 years of repayments. So I know a lot of people are on edge about that, especially if you did take advantage of those plans there.
Yeah, and I think whatever ends up happening here could be a shock to a lot of borrowers, because not only the changes with this plan that have been in limbo, but if you think back, changes were made to student loans. They were paused during the pandemic, and then we rolled into some of these new plans like the SAVE plan. And so some people may not have been paying their loans for years now at this point, and even know what their full payments could be like. And so a lot of people will be seriously impacted and really have to make some adjustments to whatever comes out of this and whatever new plan they go into here, Shanika.
Yes, it's a good idea to just go back in there to look at all of those details and really see what your options are.
Yeah, and be prepared financially, set some money aside, and maybe start planning for that.
Yes, because it is hard out here.
Yeah, it is. Well, staying into some of that federal news, we know a group of fired federal workers in our area, they are suing the Trump administration right now. They say anti-DEI policies led to their firings from their jobs with the federal government. They believe that this move was illegal. It is the latest in a number of lawsuits that we're seeing against the Trump administration that have been filed related to some of these mass layoffs.
Yeah, the lawsuit is led by the DCA CLU, and they say these firings violate the First Amendment because of discrimination that's based on perceived political affiliations. Now, discriminations based on advocacy or perceived advocacy for protected racial or gender groups.
Yeah, and so we'll have to watch what comes out of this lawsuit, because there have been so many filed over the last several months, really dating back to the beginning of the year when the mass firings started with organizations like USAID, the IRS, Department of Education. So we've been seeing a lot of these, and it's really different. In some of the cases, we know that workers have been reinstated to their jobs. Just back during the shutdown, we had workers that were fired or riffed during that, and they've since been told that they can come back to work, and that the Trump administration agreed to that when they agreed to reopen the government. So a lot of different lawsuits playing out here and impacting a lot of different workers, especially in our area where so many people have or do currently work for the government.
Oh, yes. And it's just a lot of mix up here because I know a lot of people were wondering, okay, yeah, what's going to happen? When am I going to get my next check? Am I going to even have a job? So, yes, it's right now, it's just a toss up in a way, it seems, with all the news that's coming out here.
Yeah, and I'm sure there will be more on the way.
Right. So I have a question for you that I probably know the answer to. It's could you use an additional $50,000 right now?
I mean, who couldn't use that? We've got Christmas coming up, got a lot of gifts to buy.
Right.
But yeah, I think anyone would say yes to that.
All right. Well, if you were in Silver Spring recently, you got to check your ticket. If you purchased a Powerball ticket in Maryland, this could have been you this week. Now, that ticket is worth $50,000 from a drawing on Tuesday. The ticket was sold at an Exxon gas station at Old Columbia Pike in Silver Spring, and that's in the East County area. The player only missed, guess what, just one number.
Man.
And just with one number, they could have hit the jackpot.
And how much
But
was the
full
jackpot?
jackpot?
Do we know how much?
I'm pretty sure way more than 50K. I think it's a couple millions. Let me see if I can do a quick Google search here. So
yeah, my problem.
Maryland,
Do you buy lottery tickets?
every now and then, especially when they put out like the big prize.
Yeah.
I'm like,
My problem is when I buy them, I really feel like I'm going to win, and so I have it in my head like my hopes are up too much, and then I think the most I've ever won is like $20 on a scratch off.
Yeah.
And I think the ticket was $10, so I really only profited maybe $10.
yes. And you know what? A lot of people say, hey, look, you're not going to win if you don't play.
Right.
But sometimes I'm like, okay, this is my hard worked, earned money that I worked for. Why do I want to waste it per se on?
And the disappointment after you get your hopes up is tough to
I
deal with.
know, because that happened. But hey, it only takes that one time.
It does, and this person's going to get 50,000.
Yes. Okay. So it says the jackpot, Mega Millions is 70 million right now for the next drawing. Powerball is 930 million, and the multi-match is 590,000. I'll take all of it.